that everyone is okay turning education into a political football. That's really coming out of this. Rashmi
It has been a
Samant,
political football for very long.
Sumant Raman says that BJP started it, so let them face the music. Is that the argument, really? And what about the kids? 4 million of them in Karnataka who would be facing this ugly again now of getting there.
If I may,
it's not just about Hedgewar. Hedgewar is the peg with which we are discussing the story, but it's about all these children getting to go back to their textbooks afresh after the changes that would be made over a period of months now.
well, I'd like to make a few observations here. Firstly, I've heard a lot of personal stories and anecdotes on this panel. And I think as a very recent person to have graduated school, all the panelists present here, I'd like to say that school years are some of the most formative years. So maybe you do not remember, but for most people, this is what we remember, and this is something we carry on for the rest of our lives. And it is important to have a balanced study of different perspectives, different ideologies, which have played an important role in our society. Cancelling one side of the story and just pushing a Nehruvian Gandhian philosophy is not all right. It is not okay to have an education system that prefers one ideology over the other. It is important for students to be exposed to all ideologies in an equal sense so that they know the circumstances under which their great nation has evolved. Secondly, I think every state needs to adhere to the national education policy, because after we graduate from schools, we go on to study at undergraduate and postgraduate institutions across the country. That puts students from states that are not a part of a uniform syllabus at a back foot with respect to competing and with respect to performing well if they choose to go to an institutions in any other state in India. So I think every state, if they think that they prioritize the students, that they prioritize the education of their students, and if they want students from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to do well, if they choose to study in different parts of India, then they really need to put aside their political shenanigans and they need to stick to the national education policy, because the future of this youth of this nation is not something to be gambled with for political mileage.
Good point.
That being said, I'd like to say that if you want to make changes, make it when you come to power at the center.
I would go to Mr. Meka, because the issue is of the Congress party doing something, but because the issue of national education policy was brought in by Sumant Raman. Sumant Raman, quickly. The point that Rashmi is making, I sort of agree with that you need to have a national curriculum framework. You need to have a national education policy which should be above political football.
No, I think that in hindsight, I think what she said is right. Children should be told all about the RSS, how, for large periods of time, it, was actually on the side of the British, and how Mr. Hedgewar...
RSS was there to form a Hindu Rashtra. It was not on the side of the British.
One second.
Let me just add. Sumant Raman, there is an error of fact, so I have to correct it.
Satyagraha, 1 second.
You're politicizing this again.
The RSS
No. Let the children begin politicizing.